Okay, I've been having some good fun with CHDK, Canon Hackers Development Kit. This is the PowerShot A530 version A100, I think, that I flew on my second HAB flight. It's only 5 megapixels, but it was very cheap and took some fairly good photos that I'm quite happy with. But I got a bit bored of it and I've ripped it apart and soldered some wires onto the hardware UART pins. Quite a fiddly job, but perfectly doable. These are just some old bits of jumper cable I stripped down to solder on. So they go through this. The camera's logic level is 3.3 volts for the UART, and it is 115,200 baud. So I'm using this 10k resistor on the RX of the camera to protect it from my 5 volt USB to TTL board. So not ideal, should probably have got a 3.3 volt one, but this works just fine. So yeah, basically you can get to the camera shell at 115,200 baud or whatever I said it was, and execute commands on the camera. And you can also, with a bit of fiddling about, get LUA script in CHDK to do hardware UART, and you can customise the baud rate. I got it down to 300 baud. You might be able to get it to 50 baud, but the commands vary from camera to camera. The memory addresses vary from camera to camera, so can't say it'll work for all of them. But this is good progress. I'm going to hook an NTX2 up to it. Before this, I was flashing out RTTY on the LED, and it was transmitting RTTY, but the timing was absolutely terrible. Wouldn't decode properly. I mean, you could probably get a couple of characters out of it and then it would just scramble. So yeah, definitely wouldn't have got 300 baud out of that. It took too long to execute the commands. So hardware UART is a goer. That is good news. Next step is going to be to... I'm going to demonstrate it quickly in a second. Take a JPEG photo, encode it using SSDV, and then transmit that out over serial. And we might be able to make a whole tracker out of just a camera. I'm thinking either we could connect to U-blocks to this somehow, or, if I'm really lucky, buy a Canon camera with a built-in GPS for geotagging, and if I'm really lucky, might work above 12,000 meters. But extremely unlikely. I don't think they'd put such a specialist receiver in a camera like that, but you never know. This is the code. It's one of the examples I've just edited. So basically what we do here is we call an event procedure. You have to enable this in CHDK. You've got to be CHDK version 1.2 or above, and you go into... I'll demonstrate it now quickly. So menu, into miscellaneous, and then you have enable LUA native calls. This is very blurry, isn't it? But that is the 4th item from the top, including back. So yeah, you just put a dot in that box, and that is that done. You can then use this call event procedure command. So you have to do system event init before you can use printf command, and printf will just send that parameter to the serial port. So we do that just to indicate the script started. That will be sent at 115,200 baud, and this opens the serial port TYCO/0, and that is the memory address for the open command, which we found in... where did we find that? It was Rayalp helped me find that in the CHDK IRC channel. That was in the CHDK source for my camera, so that will vary from camera to camera. Hopefully I'll write down somewhere in the description and write up for this exactly where you can find that. And then we just print that result out. I think that returned 5, so if that's above 0, Rayalp seems to think that will be good to go. This changes the baud rate. So that command, you're really testing my memory now, was Got some editing to do. Come on. IOCTL. There we go, right. That is the memory address for IOCTL. FD is the serial port we opened up here. 4, that is the memory address of the baud rate setting. And 300 is the baud rate we want to set. So we're writing that to that memory address using that command, from what I understand. Okay. Yeah, then we just print that. I think that returns 0, which means it's good to go. That's worked. Baud rate changed. And then this command here, this memory address, closes FD, a serial port we opened up here. So that's then closed. I'll call that again. I don't know if you need to call the system event in it again. And then just basically repeat through, printing out hello world. And I can demonstrate that working for you now. Well, then I'll go exit this first. I will open up putty at 300 baud on COM5 and press the shutter button. Lots of hello worlds, so that is good news. I'm going to go from there and see what I can do. I'm going to do a little write-up on this tonight and have a crack at SSDV tomorrow. I think it'll be quite a long job though. I'll be asking FS Phil a lot of questions about that because he's the guy that made it. But it might be quite straightforward. Never know. Thanks again to Rayalp. He's been so helpful. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name. It's R-E-Y-A-L-P. Rayalp. Rayalp? Rayalp? Yeah, I think it's Rayalp. On the CHDK IRC channel. Extremely helpful, very knowledgeable about this kind of thing. And I'll get all this written up. Hopefully someone else will find this useful. Thanks for watching.